Hello, everybody. This is One Repairs, the t-shirt repair company. I am your host, Armani, and today we have a 1994 Nine Inch Nails t-shirt. And as you can see here, this t-shirt is in a fully customized condition to whoever owned this t-shirt before the collector who currently has it. You can see that the sides were chopped, taken in, and sewed up with a straight lock stitch or a straight stitch, however you want to say it. So we're going to slowly pick that apart with our seam ripper here. It's very, very, very crucial that you take your time when you're taking apart stitches, especially when they're done poorly, like you seen earlier. But I mean, it works, right? If a t-shirt that you want to customize yourself and you feel like you can do it, as long as if it works, it works. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So we're going to split this into two panels so that this repair is super, super, super easy to work with. Everything, if we can get it as even as possible. So the first section of doing a repair of this kind is taking everything apart, assessing it, make sure that, the fabric is easy to work with, or not necessarily easy to work with, but let's make sure it's healthy, okay? So that we're not adding repairs onto something that it's just going to tear apart in a couple months anyway. You can see the collar here is absolutely obliterated, chopped. So this part right here, you see we're taking apart a chain-stitched straight stitch. And this is a piece called the binding, what you see me taking apart here. Binding, what is it used for? Binding is basically a piece that keeps the structure of a garment, so it doesn't so it basically retains its shape is the best way I can explain it. T-shirts can have this, they can't have it, well, sometimes they won't have this, depending on the factory or the age of the t-shirt. I'm pretty sure like super early t-shirts do not have like a binding. Or at least I know sometimes Fruit of the Loom, they'll just keep a binding on the collar, and they won't add binding to the shoulders. So it's just one piece, one little strip that goes from the one side of the collar to the other. So you can see we are taking everything apart here, and this part is very, very time consuming just because of how everything is put together and stitched here. So we get this fully apart. We're gonna make sure that we take this collar off so we can reattach it earlier. I promise you we are going to reattach this collar later on. The collar was in really good condition. It was healthy. There's still a lot of stretch to it. Sometimes people can get what do they call it, baconing around the neck, and that's because of the collar being way too worn out or way too stretched out. I don't know how people put on their shirts to stretch out a collar, but, or either they just got the biggest head in the world and they doomed their t-shirts. So we have it in two pieces now, and we're going to focus on the collar area here, the neck area on the front side of the t-shirt. Here we're going to do some ironing, we're going to do some starching, so everything is very, very flat, so nothing rolls up. If we keep things raw and we don't starch them, like right here I'm using starch. I'm way too close with the starch here though. If you're starching a garment, try to be a little further. So we iron it out, we get it super hot, super flat. And this is some adhesive, some web adhesive that we're going to be using to make sure these pieces stay in place so we can put our patch on. This just makes it like 1,000 times easier to make sure everything is as close as we can get it. Slowly but surely, we make sure that these pieces are in the right spots. Okay, it looks like somebody bit this t-shirt, like took a bite out of it. Here's one of the donors that we'll be using. This is an extra large Screen Stars Best, and then this is the XL Fruit of the Loom from Canada. That tag is the Canadian tag for Fruit of the Loom in the 90s. So that was pretty cool. This client He's from Canada, so seeing the donors that they would send was cool. I never seen that tag before. So here, this is very important, okay? Listen, we're taking the chalk and we're basically outlining where we're going to be stitching, zigzag stitching. This was done like maybe like a year and a half ago. I definitely would do things differently now that I'm looking at it and recording a video for it. But right here, this is washable chalk, so this will not stay. This is basically helps me highlight where I need to stitch to keep this piece on. When the fabric is this close in color, it can be hard to see where you're stitching. Like you can see here, that was all done. And now we have the template for our t-shirt to make it fit like, I believe this was the 90s Fruit of the Loom. So we lay it out on top of the 9-inch nails to make sure that it's basically the right size, the right fit. We want to make sure that we are taking in what we need and not using a crap ton of extra fabric. Here, I'm laying it out, making sure nothing is too stretched, because when you are using adhesive, you can stretch it out too much, and that's where things get warpy dealing with knit fabrics. And make sure that everything is flat, even, so when we go to do our seam allowance, the shirt is not crooked or uneven. Here you can see we have the seam gauge and chalk. And what we're doing here is measuring from the template, right? The shirt template, and making our seam allowance so that when we go to put the shirt together, it is exactly how we need it. So slowly going up here, and I see that on certain parts right here that we need to add some more fabric, because if we don't, this is the stuff that was cut earlier from whoever the original owner was when they went to go take in this t-shirt. So we are basically adding a seam allowance to make sure that this fits just like a 90s XL Fruit of the Loom. So this is important here. We cut what we need from our donors. And here I'm trying to place it under, make sure that the grain matches up. If you don't have the grain matching up when somebody goes to wear it, whenever it stretches, it's just going to stretch in weird ways. So you want to make sure that your grain is always matched up when you're doing a repair. You don't want it to be wonky. Okay, so we're back here with the gauge and our chalk, and I believe we finished that side. I did not record this right. But here on the other side now, we're adding our seam allowance. And like I said, just make sure you're measuring things and keeping track of what you're doing, what you're cutting off, especially if you're dealing with a t-shirt that is worth a lot of money. You do not want to mess up. And I think at this time, this definitely was one of the hardest repairs that I had to do, because most of the time I would just take in clients that needed mending. So like t-shirts that had holes and stuff, I would basically patch those holes up, and that was it. But now, you fast forward to 2026, we're doing a lot more than just mending holes. We can downsize stuff. We can upsize stuff and make it your own. So if you have a t-shirt that you really, really care about, something that you want to get more wear out of, more mileage out of, feel free to put in a repair request and send it in, and just be very, very descriptive of what you want, and we can figure something out. So here on this side, I believe it was looking at the way that the 9-inch nails t-shirt was cut was it was a mess, just because it was such an uneven cut. I mean, whoever did it definitely wasn't seasoned as far as being somebody who sews. But I mean, I don't know. I thought it looked cool. But down to the machine. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So we have our chalk to basically outline where we need to go, and this is to attach the extra material that we needed from what I was showing you earlier, just on the bench there. So here is the back side of it. We cut off all the things that we don't need, and now you see that it scoops. The armhole scoops just the way it needs to be. We iron it down flat. Always make sure you iron anything down after you're done working on it. Sewing is like 99% ironing. Here's the collar. The collar was in good condition. Like I said earlier, I hate to have to replace anything that does not need to be replaced. So we were able to save this collar and basically make it look brand new. That was it. And then here I take this little hammer to basically flatten any seams down that seem a little too bulky in my eyes. So here we are attaching the collar. Man, I'll tell you what, from everything that I've ever learned from sewing, attaching a collar has been the hardest thing to learn. But now, obviously, being 2 years in, looking back at this, I just laugh. I just laugh. Because things might seem really, really hard in the beginning. I mean, it's with anything that you do. You just gotta get past the area where you just feel super, super uncomfortable, you know? Just do it uncomfortable. If you're gonna do anything, do it uncomfortable until it's not, is the best advice I could give. So all together now, this is what it looks like from the top portion of the front. We added some material around the neck, as you see, to make it fit the way that we needed it to for the 90s Fruit of the Loom. And honestly, this came out amazing. I couldn't have been more happy with the results here. You see, we added some mending right there to the armhole, and that's basically it for the repair. Front, back, the sides, all together. This fits like a regular t-shirt now. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of the video. If you guys would rather a more structured video with specific sections rather than just me rambling on the whole time, or if that's something that you guys like, let me know that. And yeah. So make sure you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the video if you made it to this point, and we'll see you on the next one.